Alright, welcome back to Mass Effect. I'm on the Normandy. And I've still got a lot of videos to upload, but I'm doing it on a sort of trickling recording schedule now. I've got a big batch saved up to upload, and I'm going to occasionally trickle in a video or two to keep it at about the same amount to upload, so I'm never short on videos. Now, actually I want to check the requisitions officer and see what kind of things he's got. Now, I don't have much money, now that I think about it. But what the heck? Where'd this come from? Well, whatever, I'm gonna take it. Ah, I sold all the useless stuff now. Ah, so much more powerful, but far less accurate. I cannot justify that. Grenade launcher, I don't think I'll be using that very much. Armor, in fact, I've got nothing much of anything. But anyway, let's get down to the requisitions officer. And how much money do I have? Oh, 1,916 credit. That's not too bad. Come on, get down here. Jeez, they still use lifts in the future. I can't get over that. It's somewhat of a popular thing to hate on the lifts in Mass Effect 1. I don't really know why. Ah, yes, we've got Garrus here. We can talk to him. Let's just talk to the requisitions officer first.
Looking for supplies?
I am, yes.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
He's got an assault rifle, he's got a sniper rifle. Let's see what that's like. Oh my. Oh, it's a really upgraded version of what I've got here. Oh man. Holy crap, he's got a lot of stuff. Grenade upgrade? Absolutely not. Now, what's the most expensive I can afford? It looks like the level 2 things are what I can afford. And level 3 is quite a bit out of my price range at the moment, so I will stay beneath in the level 2 range. Sniper rifle hammer 2? Oh! It's slightly less accurate. But not by... Oh man, I don't feel right doing that. Pistol... Yeah, my pistol's way better. Oh, I'm so tempted by that sniper rifle. Oh... That's almost all my money gone. In fact, that's pretty much all of my money gone. I really don't know. I really don't know if I should. Oh, screw it. There we go, I bought it. And I'm going to equip it. Transfer and sold upgrades? Yes. Oh no, let's talk to Garrus. Let's see how he's doing since we've recruited him.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
You knew?
Have you worked with a Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
Well, I suppose sometimes the rules are there for a reason, but I don't think it's that bad, is it?
For the most part, the rules are there for a reason.
Maybe. But sometimes it feels like the rules are only there to stop me from doing my work. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
And that was why you left?
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
Well, I hope you made the right decision.
I hope you made the right choice. Yeah. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Honestly, I would trust you. That sounds good to me.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
You're very welcome here, Garrus. Ah, the Mako.
Commander, good to see you.
No, the Mako. And we got some experience for looking at it. Let's see how Ashley's do. Oh, in fact, we can talk to Rex as well. Yay.
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
Let's talk about you, Wink.
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Come on.
You Krogan live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, that.
I heard about that. You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
No, it's not.
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
Yeah, I see your point. It's not the same in the slightest bit. Shepard's rude.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
I won't.
Sorry, Rex. I wasn't trying to get you upset.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Oh?
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
So why is that a problem?
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
That's not very good at all, that. Yeah, so tell me more about this thing.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Oh?
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
I see.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
That's a bit of a meme, the Shepard thing. Just Rex saying Shepard like that. It's a bit of a meme. Anyway, Ashley.
Commander?
How we
What's your
doing?
opinion on the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit?
Yes, sir. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
This is true, but it wasn't your fault.
The Geth are perfect ambushers. They don't move, they don't make noise, they don't even breathe.
Sir, they have flashlight heads. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I suppose they do kind
Your
of...
opinion on the last mission?
Oh dear.
No offense, I appreciate the rescue.
You wish
Yes, if I had been more alert, we... Sir, I'll make
Right,
sure
just
it
skip through
doesn't
that.
happen again.
Can we talk?
Do you have a few minutes to talk one-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duty squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
That's okay.
Dismissed, Chief.
Sir.
Oh, that was a bit of an eyebrow movement there. Now let's go talk to Tally. I'm sure she'll be in the engine room, because that's where she lives, practically. Oh, look, there she is. Let's talk to Adams first.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
Is that bothering you?
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
Oh, that's very good. We've already asked about this. She is very useful, I agree.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Well, actually, it kind of is. Goodbye.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Tally!
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
Well, they're not normally. This one is rather special.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
That's no problem.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
300-year-old ships?
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Yeah, makes sense. Tell me about you guys.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
Like what?
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
The what now?
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
Most captains? I wonder what happens with the ones that aren't.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
That's actually an incredibly good idea, I think. It's a sort of... They can only do it if they know it's absolutely deathly essential that they override them. And so the power's never... It's never used for corrupt purposes. Unless the gains are that great that, you know. What about the Geth?
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Oh, tell me.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Isn't that illegal now? I suppose it wasn't illegal then. Dunno.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
Ah, makes sense.
So, the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in the group, the smarter they are.
Yeah, so they are Legion.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
Wow. I get it. Why are you so stupid, Shepard?
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
Well, I can also imagine why that would cause Why are you so stupid, Shepard?
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Well, I don't exactly blame them. I mean, they were defending themselves.
You can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Wow. Is this the same choice as what I just had?
It's hard to feel sorry for you.
What?
Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place, but we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
Not everyone.
They didn't kill Saren.
What does that tell you? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they've joined up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
I agree. Now, what about your pilgrimage? That turned into a bit of a slight argument kind of thing, that?
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
And I suppose they don't always accept.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when the gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Well, sounds good. It's slightly dangerous.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Sounds good.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Well, we're actually done talking now, so goodbye.
I should go.
See you later.
Alright, now I think we've caught up on the crew, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now. I will see you in the next one. Also, Harry.